Wolfman was trying to find music, and I got 5,000 messages.
You can't do it on your phone.
On my phone, I don't know why it's recording it. It's kind of bonkers, if you ask me.
I would have to set it up and load music into your playlist so that way.
I actually have music.
Do that.
I want to, but not in this phone. I've only got 1.4 gigabytes left.
The first day that we put those ones in, that was just an example for me to show you how to load songs. Now you're supposed to download some music, and then you have something to pick from.
I would really like that.
If you want to use that phone for podcasting, you're going to have to organize the phone.
Actually, I'm going to get a new phone next year.
Clear some shit up.
Next year, I'm buying a $100 phone with 16 gigabyte drive and starting all over.
Well, do you have, I think, a 16 gig card in there or something?
Yeah, I would take the 16 gig out of here, put it on a stick, put it on a computer, and then take the 16 gig and put a new one in here, maybe.
You don't like that phone anyway, so why don't we just go to Best Buy or Walmart and just buy you a $60 Samsung phone? You can get Galaxies, like the older ones, and probably just as good as that one for like $60.
And you know what? That's what he did too. He fucking bought all those phones for $60. And he charged everybody $200 and pretended they were new.
I doubt he even paid that much.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll bet you he paid $40 or $20 or even got them free somehow.
Yeah.
That guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that guy. He's a swindler, and he's always been one, and he's always got some scam going, and some way to.
I can't believe that. That was pretty cool.
You know, he's got connections with bikers. And he could get the bikers to bring him hot stuff. You know, they don't know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's just a guy that works in a variety store that she bought her phone off. But anyway, I suspect that he probably got that shit from the bikers because it's from the States, from a phone company that actually closed down. I research everything. I don't mess around with wondering what this is or why is that or what.
Oh, why doesn't this work the way it's supposed
I just
to?
don't stop until I get the fucking answer. That's just the way I've always been. I gotta know the answer to everything.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody calls me a know-it-all. They always say, "Oh, that Mike, he knows everything. He seems to think he knows everything." But then if you Google it and look into it, you'll find that what I'm saying is
accurate or right.
It's pretty accurate because I've already done my research. I've already Googled it. I wouldn't say nothing.
Yeah.
I don't just say things.
No,
I don't just make wild claims and say, "Oh, I think it's this." Because when you think it's something, you're just being stupid and you're making yourself stupider. Because you think it's that doesn't mean it is that.
That's right.
You actually do have to do your fucking research, folks, and then you'll find out the truth, and you won't act like an idiot in front of people thinking you're. And you know you could be Mr. Know-It-All, for real, if you do your research, or Mrs. Know-It-All. You can be a Mrs. Know-It-All if you want to do that. Some people get really annoyed.
Yeah, people get really annoyed with us.
But, you know, and then again, too, when people want to find something out,
they come to us.
And they can't figure it out, they come to me. And
well, me too. My family has always come to me when I was younger. For everything. Because I was like Mama Bear. I took care of everybody. Mom didn't take care of anybody.
And even that landlord that said that, "Oh, you always know everything," but you know what? Every time he needed to know something, he always came and asked me. He said, "Hey, I can't figure this out. Can you do it?" Even employers that were supposed to be the boss and know how to do all the jobs were asking me.
From you, honey. They were learning from you, and you were making them money.
Watching
really
me do
big.
things that they didn't even know how to do.
Oh wow!
Honey. And then they're asking me, how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do this? The next thing you know, my boss, he's getting me to do all the freaking all the estimates myself. Basically, do his job for him for fucking $15 an hour. I'm doing all the estimates and interior finishing. I'm doing dealing with the customer, figuring out how much materials he has to go get. So he would just drop me off at the job
And
site.
leave. Right?
I would give him a list of stuff to go get,
It's horrible.
and then he'd go fuck off for the day, get drunk, and then come back and pick me up half looped. He never started, like, once he figured out that I could do the stuff, he kind of lost it. Because he split up with his wife, and then I had to take over his business.
Oh my God.
For $15 an hour, and he's drunk on the floor, sitting there, and I got to talk to the customer, and I'm telling
What a
him,
nightmare.
hey man, you can't sit in here like that, man. You told me this before yourself. Like, I was in that spot. I was the one that was there drunk. And he told me off, and then straighten out, and gotta work, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, now he's the guy drunk in the corner, hiding behind people's furniture, having a snooze while they're upstairs, and we're supposed to be renovating their basement.
What a nightmare.
We were mostly working in basements, so usually people leave us alone, and we'd have the basement, and even be a washroom down there usually.
Can you go get weed for us after you're done talking
yeah,
about it?
and, I don't know. I'm just trying to give something for your show.
I like it. I want you to stay. If you want to roll roaches, we
that's
don't have to get
what
weed.
it was like working for this one
That's
guy.
not good.
And then I had to straighten him out and tell him, listen, man, you're going to have to slow down your drinking because you're coming to pick me up at the end of the day and you're half loaded, and then you're driving me home half loaded from Toronto. And it's not cool, man. And like a 4-hour drive, and you're never going to see a cop, though. That's the thing about that. And he knew it too. Once you get into the traffic, rush hour traffic in Toronto, you'll never see a spot check and you'll never see a cop for 4 hours, because it takes 4 hours to get through the traffic, and cops don't go in that traffic. They just don't, because they can't. They're not allowed to. They would clutter up the traffic more. So they're not allowed to do anything during rush hour. If you ever want to drive without a license, that's the time to do it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Because
it
I know
is.
the same thing about picking Michael up at Siemens
It
every
does
week.
not work in rural areas. It only,
Siemens
only
too.
works in
Hey, when
cities.
everybody's driving from Elmer to Siemens or Elmer to the factories in Tillsboro,
Well, if it's a
the
highway,
same thing. They don't come to the
If
highway.
it's a highway and people are driving from work,
It's really good. They're good there,
but it
too.
only works in cities, man. When
It
there's
happens here,
it
too,
has
though.
to be a lot of traffic. If there's moderate traffic, the cops can stop you on your way to work to check if you're drunk from the night before.
Yeah, but I've never
And,
been...
and in Canada, I don't know who's listening here, but
Yeah,
in
but
Canada,
everybody's listening.
it's only 0.05 now or some shit, and they're already going to pull your license for
0.7, I think.
no, 0.5.
0.5 now?
Yeah, 0.5.
Oh, I didn't know.
They take it away for a 3-day suspension.
Whoa,
I think so. Yeah,
I didn't know
when
that.
You're 0.5. Now I could get you could get 0.5 off one drink.
I'm 140
and
pounds.
even if you waited 2 hours, you could still blow 0.5. That's
So you don't-
ridiculous. And you could walk a straight line, do everything normal. You wouldn't even feel drunk. Nobody feels drunk on 0.5. So it's a ridiculous law, and everyone
to
just
get people in
getting-
trouble.
Yeah, just to get in trouble for no reason. It's just bothering the public. This is the police being allowed to pester and bother the public and antagonize you, make you feel like you're doing something wrong when you didn't do fucking nothing wrong. And this is awful, man. This is where society's going. It's going down to a piece of shit where everybody just fucking... You can't even fight the government because they're so strong now. Like, what are we supposed to do? Everyone will have to stick together one day.
Well, like we talked about one day with a good friend of yours that we don't talk to anymore, but we still say he's a friend in a distance. We should all band together with our cardboard swords and our plastic spoons and go to Parliament in the spring and see what they'll do then. When the black sheep go and pull in there, 3,000, 30,000, whatever we can conjure up.
It's sliver moon tonight coming up.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Right now, the moon's coming up right now, and it's a sliver moon.
Oh, I gotta go see it right now because you told me I had to see it tonight. I didn't see it. Remember last?
It's not tonight anymore. It's morning now.
It's gone.
It's gonna be light out soon.
It's gone.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is a blessing of all blessings.
So it looks like the Islamic symbol.
Beautiful.
Do you know what I'd really like to do before I get the other pot is
take your clothes off.
I already have my clothes.
I know.
No, I'd like to get rid of, clean out this thing.
Tray. Yeah, I know there's a lot of
Just
stock
clean
in it.
out.
Yeah, I'll dump
What
this.
is this?
Seeds. There's seeds in some seeds.
Where do you got? Oh, I put seeds. There's a jar up there for seeds.
Well, I'll
Up
put them
there.
in, but they're all over that tray. Everybody, I'm starting a new business. It's just
can't
taking
hear
a
you.
while to start up. I'm hiring people. I'm
She wants to deliver marijuana to
getting
people,
product.
but you know,
There's a
pretty
lot of
controversial.
things standing in my way.
if we do it in the gray area of the law,
We're not doing no gray area. I've already proposed
we
a
make-
business number.
Well, I wouldn't take a business number until you don't need to until you make over $10,000.
No, it's not 10,000. It's 3,000.
a month.
It's 3,000 a month.
Okay, well, I knew there was a certain amount, so
Yeah, I looked into it.
so you don't need to do that until you make that much money. Then
Okay.
it's not worth you spending the money
But they-
or time on getting a business license for something that you're just trying out and you don't know if it's going to work or not.
Okay, because
So you are allowed to actually try businesses out like that without getting a license.
okay.
And if it takes off, well, that's when you need to think about getting a license.
And that's when you pay your damn taxes when you get them. Because if you don't do
And
that, you're
before
always
that,
fucked at
you're,
the end of the
you're
year.
just claim self-employment, and it's
And
really
what they're going to do very shortly, if you have your own business, they're going to give you an exempt that no matter what, if at the winter time it's cold and you're not getting the money, you're not making as much money in your business, they supplement your income to what you were making before with the
All
government.
of the big businesses are supplemented. All of our food is supplemented. There's no way that anyone could produce a loaf of bread and only charge $3 for it without government supplements. Now, there's huge amounts of money being given out to the food industry. Huge amounts of government supplements that nobody knows about, that they're keeping quite hidden, because the reason being is that if everybody knew how much the government had to supplement just for you to go shopping in the grocery store, then you'd realize how fucked the system really is, and it's not working. And
Can you tell me that again?
We're actually headed towards a fucking brick wall with this society.
Actually, can I ask you a question, sweetheart? This is very interesting that you said that. Why do you say that the government is supplementing the food industry?
Because they do. They have to pay
The farmers.
the farmers and the companies that package the food and all kinds of money, supplements money, in order for them to bring that food to the grocery store at a reasonable price that people can afford. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't believe how much it actually costs. And I saw a show on it. This guy did all the research, and what it actually costs to produce just a loaf of bread. And you look at all the shipping involved and everything it's involved, and the packaging and everything involved, people's labor costs involved.
How much does it really cost for a loaf of bread with honey?
I can't remember, but it was ridiculous.
Outrageous,
it was
right?
outrageous. It was like $10 or something like that.
See, folks, Wolfman's right again.
That's actually being spent on that loaf of bread is way more than you're fucking paying for it. Way more.
So us people here in Ontario are actually lucky that we're paying
If you didn't have the
$3
government,
a loaf of bread.
and what they're doing is they're taxing you more and more and more to make up the money for these supplements. So we're headed for a brick wall. This is not going anywhere.
We are going diving.
Yeah, and less.
Face first.
More people are going to run out of jobs due to robots. And
Amazon's supposed to go
already
full-time
happening.
robots.
Yeah, and people are being replaced all over the place. They're the only jobs left are going to be computer programming jobs. If anybody's smart, that's what you'll probably should be learning is computer skills, and I mean advanced computer skills.